Your Life, television's most talked about program. And now, meet our host, Ralph Edward.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Fine, thank
Good to see you. How are you this evening? Fine, thank you. Nice seeing you. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Oh, thank you, too, for being with us again on This Is Your Life. Well, we're all set to go here. Let's have a look around and see whom we have here at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood. Lovely lady down here, too. Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good, that's fine. May I have your name, please?
Hanna Kohner.
What is that?
Kohner. Hanna Kohner.
Hanna Kohner, good. Oh, you're Mrs. Walter Kohner, the wife of the Hollywood talent agent. Yes. Is Walter with you?
Uh-huh, yes.
Where is he?
Well, he just went out. He'll be right back.
Oh, he will. Okay. I see you're in good hands, though. Ladies and gentlemen, the star of the soon-to-be-released 20th Century Fox picture, Sailor of the King, Jeffrey Hunter, right down here.
Hello, Ralph. How are you?
Jeffrey. My goodness. How you been, boy? Come on in here. Let's talk. Nice to have you with us, Jeff. And since you're here, how about having you help us find our principal subject, okay?
Well, I'll do anything I can.
All right. Would you just read for us what it says on the cover of this book, Jeff?
This is your life, Hanna Bloch Kohner.
Oh, no.
Yes. This is your life, Hanna Bloch Kohner. That is what it says.
My God.
This has been quite a switch. You thought it would be the life of your good friend Jeff Hunter here, didn't you? Yes, you thought it'd be the movie star Jeff Hunter. Is that right, Hanna?
That's right.
No, we'll have to do him sometime, but tonight it's you. Let's get her up, Jeff. Stand up with her. Thank you, Jeff Hunter, for helping us fool this lovely young lady. You betcha. We'll all be looking for you in Sailor of the King, Jeff.
Thank you, Ralph.
So we'll say so long to Jeff Hunter and come on up with me to our Hazel Bishop stage, will you, Mrs. Kohner? Come along here. And don't worry, we haven't kidnapped your husband at all. He'll appear, here we go, my dear, right in here. He'll appear at exactly the right moment. You see how that works out? Come on over here and take your place in our chair of honor, Hanna Bloch Kohner. You richly deserve this place. Come on over here by me. Lean on me for support if you need to.
I hope you have a spare handkerchief.
Well, I have a spare handkerchief, and shall I give it to you now?
Oh, that's my...
Well, as this is your life will prove, you richly deserve this. May I say, Mrs. Kohner, that looking at you, it's hard to believe that during 7 short years of a still short life, you lived a lifetime of fear, terror, and tragedy. You look like a young American girl just out of college, not at all like a survivor of Hitler's cruel purge of German Jews. These, as well as happier events in your life, we will relive with you in just a moment. But so intense is your story that our sponsor, Hazel Bishop, wants to devote full time to it without interruption. Hanna, you're really surprised, aren't you?
I'm a surprise. And I've seen that show so often, you know. I mean, how they fooled me. There's one thing, really. This Academy Award of this year's Best Production, my family should get it. The show they put up. All the time about Jeff Hunter and...
Well, it took quite a bit of fooling, but now you relax and let's hear the story. We're going back to the beginning, across the seas to Czechoslovakia. This is your life, Hanna Bloch Kohner, in the little town of Teplitz-Schernau. Teplitz-Schernau, its healing hot springs were known to the Roman world 2,000 years ago. And here in the shadows of the old castle of Count Clary Albringer, you were born on September 7th, 1919. The backdrop of your happy childhood mirrors a romantic past. Your young feet tread the very paths once trod by Beethoven and Goethe, and the winds rustling through the forest echo the majestic strains of Tannhäuser, the first act of which Wagner composed in Teplitz. A rich heritage for the 2 children of Max and Hertha Bloch, you, Hanna, and your brother Gottfried.
I went to school with Gottfried and Hanna. Remember old Sense, Hanna, at the gymnasium?
Now, there's a voice out of your childhood talking about old Sense and the school you went to. Do you recognize it? Now, you haven't seen him in over 15 years.
Oh, no.
He's now a research engineer in Flin Flon, Manitoba, Canada. You remember him as Franzi Lieben.
Oh, Francie! Oh, this is wonderful.
Well, it's beauty, isn't it?
Oh, this is wonderful.
Fine, how's the feeling? A little thin.
Oh,
Well, we were talking about you only a few days ago.
who's old Sense, Mr. Lieben?
Sense? He was one of our old teachers, Professor Günther.
Yeah.
Sense means censor. He was very strict. He used to censor everything.
And after school and on holidays?
Oh, after school and on holidays? Oh, we used to stroll on the Königstraße.
I
Meet
should
our
say
friends
it.
on the Bummel in front of the theater.
Girls and boys of 13 and 14, whether on Main Street or on the Bummel in Teplitz-Schernau, begin to cast their first shy glances at each other. Did you and Hannah have dates when you were young, Mr. Lieben?
We didn't have dates like people here have in the States. We used to go hiking in the mountains, skiing at Zinnwald, dancing at the Kreinritter and Schlossgarten.
My goodness.
nice, though.
You've been good friends for a long
We've been good
time.
friends for a long time.
Hannah
We met a lot.
Did meet one particular boy finally, didn't she, Frank?
Yes, she did. It was in 1934, in spring. She was dancing at a school dance, a Czech folk dance. And after the dance, her brother Gottfried introduced her to Walter. And after that, she dropped me.
Yeah? Who's Walter?
Walter Kohner.
Oh, Walter Kohner. Your husband now, eh? I wonder where he is, Hannah.
I lost him somewhere.
He belongs to your life here, doesn't he, Hannah?
I should say.
Well, maybe he's more important to you later on. Now, what happened after 1934, Mr. Lieben?
After 1934, I don't know. I went on to Prague, to the Polytechnical University, to study engineering. Walter, he went to Vienna to study at the theater of Max Reinhardt.
What did you do, Hannah?
Oh, I was still in school at that time, and then I went to another school in Marienbad. And then all of a sudden the war was there.
You started, you did some hotel work, too, didn't
That's
you?
right, in Marienbad. You've never heard of that place, I'm sure.
Well, I have, having gone through your story.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Frank Lieben, for taking time out from a very busy life. Take a seat there in Hannah's past, please, if you will. Now, nice seeing him again after all these years. All this time, you and Walter are together whenever possible?
Yes, pretty much so.
Though you were both young, your hearts told you that you belonged to each other. By 1938, Walter has made progress in the theater. Although there's turmoil brewing across the border, your future is still bright. On March 11th, 1938, Hitler marches his soldiers across the Austrian frontier, and the Anschluss is accomplished. Still, you proceed with your wedding plans. Then, on October 1st, the Fuhrer's armies pour into the Sudetenland. Your hometown, Teplitz-Schernau, is the first to hear the rumble of the German tanks. The synagogue, where you and Walter worshipped, is the first to feel the flaming torch of the Nazi hatred. Did you actually see Hitler's troops march into your hometown,
No, I
Hannah?
didn't. No, I didn't. But it must have been very awful.
Things look more hopeful when 10 days later Walter gets his visa to go to the United States. Now, he promised to send for you, didn't he?
Oh, yes, and he meant it, too.
Yes. Where do you go after Walter gets the last plane out of Czechoslovakia, Hannah?
I went to Amsterdam, first in a little city close to Amsterdam where I had relatives, and I worked there as a servant.
Yes.
I was a very bad servant. Terrible. I didn't know how to cook and to clean and nothing.
But you leave your
Anyway.
parents and your brother behind to
That's right.
seek refuge for your hopes in Holland. Did Walter, in America now, keep his promise to send for you?
Well, he tried really very hard. He sent me an affidavit, but at that time it was awfully difficult. You couldn't get a quota number, and, well, the war came closer and
There was 3
closer.
years of waiting, really, for
That's
your
right.
quota to come up, wasn't
That's right. At least, probably it would have been even much longer.
it? 3 years or more to wait. You go back to work in Amsterdam as a maid, as a sales lady in a bookshop, as a servant in a hotel. This is before May
You know
10th.
everything.
This is before May 10th, 1940. On that fateful day, the Nazis swarm into the Low Countries, putting a merciless end to your dreams. Your last hopes are finally destroyed in the bombing of the American Consulate General in Rotterdam, where the papers that once spelled distant freedom are consumed in flames. Alone, friendless, and hunted as a non-Aryan in Hitler's world, you're permitted no means of support. Shut out hopelessly from contact with the outside world, you meet and marry a young German refugee, Carl Benjamin. Through the Red Cross, you manage to get word to Walter, and it's the last word he has from you. For you, the refuge of marriage comes to an end on a cold winter night in 1943 when the Gestapo breaks into your room in Amsterdam. You and your husband are seized and shipped off to the concentration camp at Westerbork near the German border.
That's where I first met Hanna.
Oh, Eva!
We spent about 8 months in that camp, and though it was very tough, it didn't compare with the camps that followed.
You recognize that voice, Hanna. It belongs to a girl who was your friend and companion in 4 concentration camps. Now, fate was kind to her, too, for she lives here in Hollywood now. Eva Hertzberg, now Mrs. Warner Florsheim.
Oh, Eva, oh, my God. How they keep those things from me, I don't know.
Were you and Hanna moved from that first camp together, Eva?
Yes, together with a lot of others, we were packed into cattle cars and shipped off to Theresienstadt in Czechoslovakia.
You practically passed through your hometown on that
That's
trip,
right.
didn't you, Hanna? You could see it from the grill work of
But
the...
it wasn't
No.
a nice homecoming.
How long were you in this camp, Eva?
Only a couple of weeks, then we were sent off to the extermination camp at Auschwitz in Poland.
It was...
It was very cold there, and we only had the thin little dresses we wore,
Yes.
and 10 girls had to share 2 bunks.
You were each given a cake of soap and a towel, weren't you, Hanna?
I don't remember the song.
Well, you were sent to the so-called showers, and even this was a doubtful procedure because some showers had regular water, others had liquid gas, and you never knew which one you were being sent to. You and Eva were fortunate, others were not so fortunate, including your father and mother and your husband, Carl Benjamin. They all lost their lives at Auschwitz.